Hello and welcome back once again to this Rise of Flight career. When last we left off, Austro-Hungarian ace Vikram Spearglass had just returned from another successful sortie, now sporting something like 55 confirmed and credited air kills, and a smattering of unconfirmed ones. Was still trailing behind old Manfred, but to our credit, Vikram's still alive. Alive and awake, though the call hadn't gone up yet. He was lying in his tent, thoughts all tangled up, even as the sun started to rise outside, and the canvas fabric above his head gradually came alive with soft, golden light. Another sunrise, then. An extra day of life notched into his future tombstone. And the war wasn't over. It might never be over. Another 6 months, another year, 2? To even consider such a time frame when life was measured in days or hours over the front was an absurd exercise. And what if it ended tomorrow? People would still die by the hundreds or thousands today. In battle, by disease, by accident. Just yesterday they'd lost 2 boys of 17 in a training accident. Vikram looked at his watch. The bugle would sound in a couple of minutes. What if the war ended tomorrow? How many young boys would he kill on the last day of the war? Vikram got dressed and headed out for breakfast. The war wouldn't end tomorrow. And we're all up. So as you might have gathered from the intro there, today we are flying a patrol up northeast to the front lines and then up and down the lines as though there was a war going on. There are 4 of us flying out today. The commander, another Oberstleutnant, and 2 lieutenants, which young Vikram is one. I'm honestly quite surprised he hasn't been promoted past lieutenant by now, considering his tally is up to, I think, a whopping 55 aircraft. You know how these things are, politics. formation and see what we can do to actually keep the DVA flying alongside them. Buggers lagging behind. We should be settling into a quiet period on the Eastern Front by now. Of course, hasn't happened yet as far as the AI is concerned, but by this point there wasn't too much aerial action going on over Galicia. Not certainly not over Galicia. We're far away from the end of the war, but we're quite close to the end of the Austrian East Front. Another month or so, I think, and hostilities will have ceased, even though the treaty wasn't officially signed until, I think, November. We'll have reached our point now. Going eastward. Now our flight ridge will take us to a point very close to the enemy airfield. The same airfield where mere months ago the dreaded anti-Vikram squadron was taking off on daily sorties to hound us into oblivion, but that didn't really turn out so well for them, did it? The dreaded 13th Squadron. We will have reached the front by now and we're turning north, continue with our patrol. So far nothing. Oh wait, squadron lead is diving. Diving to the east, that doesn't bode well. Oh yeah. That's an airfield. That's the Squadron 13 airfield. And there's anti-aircraft fire going up. Can't see what they're shooting at. I can tell they're not happy about it. Do we simply... Oh, there are 3 planes there. Must be Brits. Or have we... No, those are not Brits. A lovely formation at Newport. I'm not alone, am I? Seems like I am. Why aren't they reacting? Interesting. There goes one. And one behind us. I am not sure what they're doing, but they don't seem to want to go evasive on me. That's one down in flames, I think. Yep. That's an Albi. One confirmed kill, one possible. Oh, it's still burning. God damn it, poor sod. And that over there, is that also an albatross? Can't be. Oh yeah, that is an albatross, but out of the rest, there were supposed to be other planes in the area. And I didn't see 4 planes go down. Oh. So am I to infer that Ground Forces have actually captured this? Because those guns weren't firing on us, they were firing on the enemy. Because this used to be the headquarters of Squadron 13, but I suppose Austrian Ground Forces must have captured it in the last few days. That was certainly not friendly when we passed here a week ago. Wish they would make up their minds. Well, that... Oh, wait. There's a... No, not a dogfight. That's just the rest of our squadron. Should we assume 2 or 3 Nieuports shot down for no casualties on our side? I think he's diving on that one that was passing over the airfield just a second ago. It's me to intercept. I'll close my rads a bit. Surely I can't have spent 700 rounds. Well, apparently I can. I don't think I was that poor a shot. Well, the airfield isn't firing, that's good. Not get too excited about this dive. We are, after all, flying an Albatross. Well known for its tendency to tear wings off at the slightest provocation. And the AI is well known for its tendency to ram friendlies at the slightest provocation. Oh, dear God. Yeah, he's close. Holy... Oh. My poor heart can't handle this. One pass and then I'm out. No, I'm too scared. Oh, God. Not to mention the friendly fire I just took. I'm gonna let them have this, because I risk less by being in a dogfight with the enemy than I do being close to my target blind friendlies. That was an inch and a half from ending our career permanently. I mean, I'm not... I don't know, maybe my undercarriage is damaged. That's how close that was. But we can call that another confirmed kill. That poor bastard went down practically over our lines. If indeed we have captured this airfield. If only I knew which one of you bastards nearly rammed me, shot me, and I'll have you court-martialed. Dare say Vikram has that power now. Very well, back on course. Should be going northeast, north-northeast. The AI certainly does like climbing a lot. Not that that's a bad tactic or anything, but I wonder what the flight plan actually says and or requires. Not to mention it's fairly turbulent up here, so I'm keeping some distance. don't fully trust the AI. It's a fairly sensible decision. But especially when it's turbulent or windy. And one gust of wind might throw them or you into each other's path. And I've already had quite enough of that for one day, thank you very much. Almost there. Yep. Turning point to this bone-shaped forest. Oh, good heavens. Thank you very much. What do you mean I was partially to blame for that? Not at all. Not at all. Open up the rats again. $3,000 meters is quite solid for a Mercedes 3. Really is quite high. You can see the engine's dropped notably in level performance because they never stop climbing. Oh well. Now we simply head south until we reach that point, that river. Are we heading south? Yes, roughly. Along one river, and once we reach the bend, we will divert. To southwest, which is honestly fairly soon. Well, we have reached the forest. According to the flight plan, should begin diverting now, but they want to follow the precise waypoints. They want to cut down to this forest first, which is why he was diverting earlier. I'm lazy. I perceive one waypoint as slightly useless, then I will sometimes simply skip it and head for home. The war is practically won after all, isn't it? And there we go, turning to the southwest. Turning to the west. As you please. As we pass over this forest, we will have reached the final breakpoint and are turning left towards home and a good cup of coffee. or whatever the wartime rationing allows us. Is that a speck on my screen or a fighter? It's a speck on my screen. I assume real-world pilots must also have had issues with specks of dirt on their windscreen being misidentified as enemy targets. God knows my windscreen is dirty all the time. There we have it. Home sweet home. I must admit I'm fairly impressed with the rather fuel-efficient glide path. I mean, if I was a flawless machine, I'm sure I would have done similarly precise calculations, but even so. And unless the wind has changed, there was a very strong headwind when we took off. So we'll work with the assumption there still is, but we'll do a pass to check before we go on final. I'll leave these two clowns up there and I will go have a look on the windsock as my flight lead makes his final circuit, I suppose. Whether or not they manage to land is a different question altogether. Right, we'll come in directly from wherever we are currently. Come in from east. And while you do a right-hand turn, I will do a left-hand turn. I feel this 75 degrees behind us. Turn on final, reduce throttle. And what I like to do generally with these planes is a very, very flat approach. Oh. That was a bit too long for my liking. So we shall bring her around. While our friends circle overhead, wherever they are. Get this plane stowed away. can't see them. Oh, there they are. Great, in perfect formation. 1,000 meters above. Precisely where you want them when you're going in for landing. Well, at least they'll live. Alright, that seems like a fine point to end it. Thanks for watching, as always. See you next time.